What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTP Sports. And yes, this is a little late. Once again, I was at the Phillies game when a Sixers game went on, go figure. But I was able to actually, physically watch this game, for a good amount of time here. The Sixers game started at 1. I was in my seats around 1:30 or 2 o'clock or something like that. I actually figured out how to get the goddamn NBC Sports app to freaking work on their streams. So that was nice. So I had a good time before the Phillies game to, watch this thing in action and watch this Sixers team get a W, get a sweep. And honestly, I do find this victory rather impressive just because you do it without Joel Embiid, and especially how you did struggle in that first half. I think the most important thing was you got to yourselves, you get into the half and you show yourselves that you're still within reach. It wasn't that big of a deficit going into the half, which was the most important thing. And as long as we make the game close and as long as we get it to the half close, we could probably close this thing out, because at the end of the day, Brooklyn's not going to close this thing out because we saw what their offense was doing in the second half. Missing a ton of shots, going on long droughts, and that's exactly what happened. Tobias Harris was absolutely fantastic in this game. Paul Reed in the second half, after getting abused by Claxton on fouls and basically everything in the first, he was really good in that second half. Paul Reed provided a great spark. Maxey hit some shots. D'Anthony Melton off the bench hit some good shots. James Harden, he was way better in this game, but still, I would like him to hit some layups. That would be really nice. It was very hard watching him offensively in that first half, just trying to find a way to get a layup home. And that was a weird thing throughout the game, too. This team was just struggling hitting their layups in the first half. My God, it was just an ugly thing. But at the end of the day, a win is a win, and that is the most important thing that we said coming into this game. Try to get the sweep. Do not let this thing go any further than it needs to be, because right now, obviously, the guys get their rest, and it's really important right now for Joel Embiid to get as much rest as possible because of his sprained knee situation. And it just sucks to see that, man. You see that in Game 3, he's falling all over the place, and basically, it's not his fault. It was just, when you're a big man, that big and that tall for Joel Embiid, you're told to, not land on your feet, because at the end of the day, it's worse for your knees. So that's why he's basically, falling down all over the place. It just, freak accident at this point. The MRI came back, the swelling in the knee. It's, Doc says for Game 1 in the second round that it's 50-50 for Joel Embiid to play that game. I'm not sure if that's a smoke screen or anything, but from the tone of Doc, it didn't sound, that promising. Hopefully there will be positive news on Joel as the day goes along, and hopefully with the Boston Celtics Atlanta Hawks series, because Atlanta did win Game 3 without Trae Young going off. So there's still a chance in that series for Trae Young to go off maybe for a 40-50 point type of night, and he steals a game for Atlanta, and anything for that series to go as long as possible, because right now the amount of days off that this team does need for some guys to get some much needed rest, it can mean so much more if Atlanta can just, maybe steal another game or drive that series to as close as it could possibly get. Not even saying force it to a Game 7. If you can find a way to get it to a Game 6, that would probably be very beneficial for the Sixers squad. So that's going to be something that Sixers fans are going to be looking very heavily on going over the next couple of days. Got some off time here. The second round's most likely not going to start till next weekend, so you do get some off time, but it would be very beneficial. Boston plays a little more games. They get a little more fatigue in their system while you get a little bit more rest. So that would be very beneficial for these guys, especially for Joel Embiid. And like I said, hopefully just, as the day goes along, we hear more positive stuff from him, because right now with the sprained knee, it's just unfortunate, man. It just feels like now every single playoff, and this was the healthiest he could possibly be this season. He was dominant this year. He's going to win the MVP, deserves the MVP, and the fact that he gets injured again. This dude can't catch a break, and then you're going to get all the Embiid haters, oh, he's soft, oh, blah, 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 all that stuff. But it's just, it sucks. I just want to see this guy healthy in a playoff run. Healthy in a playoff run. And it sucks to see that. And it really does. And it really brings a lot of the energy down. For me, at least. until I see Joel Embiid go out there and prove to us that he can still do, his thing. And like my temperament right now, well, not temperament, I would say my demeanor will be, I would say, calm. Yes. Not really entirely sure. But it's hard for me right now with this entire Joel Embiid thing to get really hyped for a second round series, most likely against the Boston Celtics with an injured Embiid. It's just hard to. So hopefully we get some positive stuff on him this week, because that would be making my life 10 times easier. It would. It really would. But it is what it is at this point. You got to win, a really great win. And like I said, an impressive win. A lot of people stepped up. Looking at some of the stats from today. Tobias Harris, 37 minutes. He put 25 points on the board, 12 rebounds, 10 defensive rebounds, 2 offensive. Had 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. He was 11 of 19 from the field, 2 of 4 from 3. Tobias was just all over the place tonight. He was really good. And we've seen it so far, 2 straight seasons. Tobias Harris has been, a guy that does step up in the postseason, which is really nice to see. Paul Reed, he was getting abused in that first half, not going to lie. Got into some foul trouble. But once that second half came along, he really shined, especially on the rebound side. He had 10 points on the day, 15 rebounds. 15! He had 8 offensive boards, 7 defensive. 5 of 10 from the field. Paul Reed, man, he provides a nice spark. And when he brings that energy, it's kind of hard to stop, because it's really fun to watch. It really is. Tyrese Maxey, definitely not as explosive as he was in games 2 and 3, but he still provided enough. He did have a rough night shooting though. 6 of 20 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He had 8 rebounds though, 16 points total, 2 steals, 1 assist. He did hit one of those threes later in the fourth quarter off of a turnover by the Nets, so that was nice to see. James Harden, he put 17 points on the board, 4 of 18 from the field, so that basically proves how much he was struggling, especially getting to the basket, getting to the rim, just trying to get those goddamn layups to fall. It was just like, it's rough to watch. That definitely is rough to watch, seeing James Harden trying to get a layup to fall. It's not pretty. It isn't. 2 of 5 from 3, 7 of 8 from the free throw line, so he is getting to the line. 11 assists, 8 rebounds. So, overall, when I say a solid night from James, but he wasn't that good shooting-wise, he still provided. So, that's something. Hopefully, you're going to get these nights from Harden where he really struggles to shoot, and when he is able to get the ball to fall, basically lights out the rest of the game. So, I do think James will be a lot better in round number 2. That's just me at this point. Jalen McDaniels off the bench, 4 points in 15 minutes, 2 rebounds. Niang got you 4 points off the bench. D'Anthony Melton was huge. 15 points off the bench, 5 of 11 from the field, 3 of 7 from 3, 2 rebounds there. 28 minutes, plus 8 on the floor. He was really good. He was really good for you off the bench. Sixers as a team, they shot 39% from the field, 37% from 3. But then if you look at the side for Brookyln, they sucked from 3. They only shot 24% from there. They had some guys in double digits. Dinwiddie, he had 20 points. Claxton had 19. Bridges had 17. Johnson had 11. So Claxton, he did go off in that first half, but was basically the entire Nets squad was kind of non-existent in that second half. Looking at some of the the quarter scoring, the Sixers held the Nets to 19 points in the second quarter, but they only scored 18 themselves. But they held them to 15 points in the third quarter, and that basically was the reason why they were able to win this game. They come out, they have a good third quarter, and that's basically the reason why you win, and that's good to see. Looking at some of the team stats here, rebounding-wise, you completely out-rebounded Brookyln in this game, 54-38. 39 defensive rebounds, 15 offensive boards, which is really nice. You're keeping the plays alive, which is huge in that situation. When PJ Tucker is getting a couple of offensive boards, Paul Reed getting 8 offensive boards, Tobias Harris grabbing all those rebounds. It's huge for you. It's huge for you. It keeps your plays alive, which is very, very good. So it's an impressive win without Joel Embiid. Tobias Harris really stepped up, and that's the most important thing to see there. Now, your main focus going into this week, get your rest, get healthy. Hopefully Embiid can be, rested more. Hopefully we get some positive news there. We shall wait and see. That's basically it there. Hopefully the Atlanta Hawks can force it to at least a Game 6. Hopefully Trae Young has a blow-up game in his, arsenal in the next couple of days. I do believe they play tomorrow. So maybe it happens tomorrow. Who knows? But it would be very nice if Atlanta can force it to at least a Game 6. Because all those days matter more. As many days off as you can get matters a lot. It can go a long way for some of these guys to get some rest. So that's the most important thing there. Overall, I think that's just a basic summary of this game. A really good team win. Without your star on the court, a lot of your other guys stepped up. And it's great to see. Now, hopefully, if you're going in the second round, hopefully Maxey can just build off these games that he's had, especially from games 2 and 3. Tobias, past 2 seasons so far, he has stepped up in the playoffs, so you know what Tobias is going to provide you. James, we need a little bit more better finishing-wise. He's going to give you those assists. Needs to be better finishing, especially at the rim. Because, like I said, some of those layups that he puts up, it kind of looks like he's scared going to the rim because he hesitates a little bit, then the shot gets blocked. He's probably afraid of it getting blocked. It bounces, it trickles, and eventually goes away. It's just, got to be a little bit more proactive there, James. A little better. A little bit better. Like I said, it goes a long way. So that's the most important thing there. So let's get to the Anytime Hotline. We got a voicemail here from Sean, so let's see what Sean has got on today's Sixers win.
Now, keeping everything in perspective, it is the Brookyln Nets. We're a far superior team to them. But I would classify this as kind of an impressive victory. Not just the fact you won it without Embiid, how they won it. A game that they were sloppy in, a game they could have accepted as a loss maybe in the third quarter, that things just weren't going their way. But they stuck with it. And credit today, a bunch of guys, but Tobias Harris, Paul Reed, somebody woke him up at halftime. What a performance. And DeAndre Melton, big shots at big times. You have to be concerned not only with Embiid being hurt, but James Harden just looked like a 65-year-old man out there today. And the missed layups were driving me absolutely insane. But they did what they had to do, and now if Atlanta could at least just get one more win in that series, anything to extend that to make Boston have to exert a little more energy would be a welcome sight.
Took the words right out of my mouth there, Sean. That's exactly what I've been stressing. I feel like that's exactly what every Sixers fan is stressing. That's what they're hoping for. Atlanta just get one more win, force Boston to, try a little harder to try to close out that series. Imagine if Atlanta forces a Game 7. How huge that would be. That'd be very huge. But yeah, I feel like you didn't have to do James a little dirty there. Call him a 65-year-old man out there on the court. That was something there, Sean. But yeah, agree with everything there. Hopefully Atlanta can find a way. That'd be really good. Good team win. Tobias stepped up, and that's basically you got the job done. Paul Reed, that energy guy, and everyone did their part. D'Anthony Melton, too. Really good there. So, yeah, Scott, really good team win. Really never doubted, even without Joel. Yeah, exactly. It's basically once you get to that half, because you saw how sluggish they were offensively in that first half, but the game was still close. As long as you were close by half, I was confident that the Sixers team was going to be able to pull it out because they were not going to shoot that poorly the entire game. I just didn't think that was going to happen. PJ actually hit a corner 3 in the second half. So once that happened, you probably basically knew that was going to be the end of the game. So yeah. So that's going to do it for today, everybody. A little bit of a shorter stream, but I do have a little bit of stuff to do tonight. Won't be doing a Phillies recap today. We'll be recapping the rest of the series tomorrow afternoon after that 12 o'clock tilt. Was a nice win by the Phillies today, though. Nick Castellanos, 2 home runs. Where the hell did that come on? Christian Pache with a 2-run shot as well. Fun game to be at. So I'll be recapping those games tomorrow. So let's see what happens this week with Sixers news in regards to Joel Embiid. Let's see if the Atlanta Hawks can force at least a game 6. That'll be very nice and, does a lot of things going forward. So that's going to do it for tonight, everybody. Thank you for joining. As always, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Do not forget to drop a like, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Does me a great deal of service. And also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Great deal. Don't pass it up. Thank you, everyone, for joining tonight.